Hi, this is Gayle. Welcome to my channel. We're talking about travel tips on Thursday. Normally this live stream is at 3 o'clock, but I had a little bit of trouble finding a place to actually go to get this live stream done. Would you believe that the place that I had intended and wanted to really take you guys had some pretty, really pretty trees with these white flowers that were beginning to blossom, and it looked great until the rains came through and washed it away. You know, kind of like the itsy bitsy spider, except this is the itsy bitsy blossoms. That nailed that, right? But we're still out and about, and Annie had sent me a question wanting to know about staycation ideas for cheap spring break travel. So I wanted to take a few minutes and talk about that. Now, Annie, if you'll go ahead and send me your address, not your email address, because I got that, but go ahead and send me your snail mail address and I'll send you a postcard from one of my out and about experiences there. So don't forget, email that to me at gayle at gaylecrabtree.com and I'll get that out. So spring break experiences, we're talking about staycations here, and we're talking about we are talking about the cheap stuff. Cheap stuff being how to find things close to you where you're not spending a fortune on vacation. What kind of spring break things can you do that are in your backyard? How to find places to go for pennies if you're going to take a vacation. Basically, it's all about, how to travel better, and this channel is all about how to do that, how to live bodaciously and go out and have fun. So, Annie, good question about those spring break staycation tips. Let's talk about what a staycation is for just a minute. Staycations are just what the name implies. It's a vacation where you stay home and you don't really go anywhere. The whole idea of a staycation is to still have fun, but to do so on a little bit more of a budget. Or they can be great for parents who have a schedule where they want to spend time with their kids, but they can't take off from work for like a full week, because sometimes we want to do that and the whole reality kind of sinks in and we can't. So hence the staycation, whoops, let me see what's going on here. Hence the staycation idea is born. Here we go. Okay, sorry about that, folks. Now, but how do you plan a staycation? Well, fortunately, it's not as hard as certainly a large vacation out, but there is some planning that goes into it because we drive the same roads every day. We see the same sights, the same places, and so they become ingrained or kind of fixated in our mind as being a certain way or a certain style. Having a staycation, especially like if we're talking about spring break, because that's such a big time for people to go out, having a staycation means looking at those everyday places that you pass by, but with another eye. Because let's face it, we humans are fickle and we want what we can't have, which means if you live near the beach, chances are you want to go to the mountains. If you live near the mountains, you want to go near the beach. If you live at a rocky coast and you want to see the beach, you're going to probably want to go to a sandy coast and vice versa. This doesn't mean that, it doesn't mean what you think it means. What I'm trying to tell you is that people will be drawn to some things close to where you are that have nothing to do with going out someplace expensive to you. Basically what I'm saying is there's I cannot talk. When I edit this, I'm going to have to do the whole thing out. Hey, how are you? We got somebody looking at me funny here because I guess they've never seen anybody do a YouTube live stream from their vehicle, right? So, anyhow, going back to it, taking those factors into consideration means that there is going to be something near you that will appeal to somebody else. So when we're starting to talk about a staycation, let's identify those things near you that draw people and start your ideas there. Because if somebody's willing to come from 10 miles, 20 miles, 100 miles, or halfway across the country to see what's in your backyard, don't overlook those things yourself when it comes to planning staycations. Other case in point, I was out one time on a trip and I was in the middle of nowhere, and this family was staying inside a hotel for a couple of nights because they were vacationing locally, and so they were still going home and taking care of the pets, but then coming back to the hotel so the kids could splash and be around the swimming pool and enjoy each other's company. Contrast this with the fact that, contrast this with the idea that we have just driven many hours to get there. We're still in a city, still having fun. So don't overlook those hidden gems. How to find them is something we're going to talk about. Get out a piece of paper. You may want to make some notes on this, or come back and refer to it again later, okay? Hey, I'm Missy coming in. Hello. It's good to see you. Welcome to the live stream. Now, how to find them. Okay, first, start at your tourism bureau. You're like, I know. Trust me, that's where anybody that's local coming in to see your town is going to start there. So start at the tourism bureau. If you're local, you have an advantage that some people just coming in don't have. That means you can go to your tourism bureau and sit down and talk with them and pick some information up. And they can often tell you where some of the museums are that you might miss, or some of those unique roadside attractions are that you drive by all the time but don't really think about stopping in. What's unique about those? What makes those special? Start there. Go and have that conversation. Then, when you get the materials, flip through it. And if you can't go, it's okay. Get them to email it or so, something like that. So, hi again. Look at that material. Look in those. Take a highlighter and highlight what you think your family is interested in, okay? Then, you've got that. Now sit your family down and ask them, tell them, we keep driving by this sign for such and such park and we've never been. Or we've driven past the zoo sign and we haven't been there in years. Get an idea from them what they would like to do. But to help make it a staycation and make it more exciting, do some things that they have not thought about before, which may mean that there is a historic site or a park that you haven't been to yet. So go spend the afternoon. Staycations are not about being elaborate. They're about being simple and having fun. They can be as simple as throwing some sandwiches in a cooler and going and having lunch at a park and maybe walking around that park for a day and then going home in the evenings. It can be a little more complicated if you want to choose a hotel that's close by, that's not super expensive, that the kids can dive in, like I just told you about with the hotel in Kansas, actually, where we were. All sorts of things that you can do. Pick out those areas, find out their interests, and then make your list. Sit down and make a paper list after you have gone through and highlighted everything and talked to your family members. Then go through and make a list and kind of come up with a plan of activities for you to do that week that are relevant to your family. If Susie wants to go to Park A and Billy wants to go to Park B, maybe you could take a day and do one park in the morning and one park in the evening. Or maybe they're such that you want to spend an entire day at each. That's okay. This is your vacation, your staycation for spring break. So you figure these things out to come up with a schedule. But do come up with a schedule. Now I know, I've been asked this on my blog before. Why come up with a schedule if it's a staycation? Well, the reason is that gives you a little bit more structure. And if you don't get to everything, it's okay. But it gives you a little more structure. Because the things that will kill your staycation are having to go pick up papers or sign them from work, having to go by your job, needing to do any of those little mundane things. Put the trash out, take the trash, deal with paperwork, picking up groceries. It's those little things that keep you from having a vacation. So if you make out a list and plan your days, you can plan for doing all of those little staycation killers if they need to be done on the vacation, they can maybe be done at the first day or two. When you make out your list, that will be what tells you, because you can have your plan on how to factor things in. The worst thing that you can do, a staycation killer, is to do the same thing and go, what will happen is you'll think, oh, I've just got to run by and do this. I can work it in on taking the kids. I just need to go and like exchange this car part or this pair of pants, and it'll only take a minute. Then you wind up spending all day. My new buzzword from the day. Hi. And those will kill your staycation. So plan your list, plan your activities. Now, you don't have to plan so tightly that you can't breathe within your list, okay? Go ahead and allow for some flexibility. That way, if you go to a park and you want to stay there a couple of hours later, you've got that built in. On the same token, if you decide to go to a park and it is raining like it is today, you might want to shift and do something else. But see, those things cut across not just staycations, but those things cut across not just staycations, but vacations too. So you always want to make sure you have the flexibility. So pay attention to your signs that are close to you. Go to the tourism bureau or tourism industry for your city or area. And it may be the Chamber of Commerce. So actually check both of those. But check out the street signs. Go get your information. Sit down with a highlighter and talk to the family after you've selected some. Definitely keep your budget in mind, whether you've got $20 or $100 or $2,000. Keep your costs in mind and then plan your schedule, but allowing some flexibility. And the big thing, the really, really, really big thing, enjoy it. This is your spring break staycation, so enjoy it and have fun. Now, what ideas do you guys have? Make sure that you leave them in the comments below, and make sure you subscribe to get notification on all the live streams and all the channels. So thank you guys for watching. I've got more people over here to wave at. This is funny. But anyway, you guys, thanks for watching, and I will see you out about and online. Bye.